It's funny, it's been so many years I've tried to forget that story, but then it always haunts me. But because my health is so crappy right now, I may not live to tell that story, so I might as well tell it now. Um, Especially when almost everybody's dead. So, I ended up, I guess, calling Thurman after we were in that hotel for like 2 days. And I said, what is it? He's like, oh, I'm so worried about you two. You know, and da 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 da. And there's the city guy. I bet you that's that same guy I was talking to. He's in charge of the park. So anyway, he's like, you know, I'm sorry if I did anything to offend you, and da da da. I said, yeah, you did. And he's like, you know, why don't you guys just come back? We'll go have dinner. Let's go do some shopping. And da 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 da. And I'm like, you know, I really don't know. Well, I'll pay for the hotel and everything. You know, how did you get the hotel? Did you use card or check? You know, whatever. I said, no. And he's like, look, I'll pay for it if you guys want to stay there for, you know, a few days or a week, or, you know, unless you want to come back to the house. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm really sorry if I did anything wrong. You know, I might have just gone off the wayside there. You know, I don't remember anything. So I just was like, man, I just don't even know. I don't know if this guy's like playing, or he's just playing evil, or sick in the head, or what's up. But he was just trying to be the 100% angel. So I talked to the guy that had the store again. I said, yeah, I talked to Thurman. And I said, I just don't really think, you know, going back to him is going to be worth it. He's just scary. And he says, well, maybe the best thing to do is you guys, you know, usually go back, like, you know, on Sunday night to Memphis, and because he has to be to work on Monday. He says, you know, maybe you should just take that free ride back, or whatever. And I said, well, yeah, my car is at the Germantown house. So I don't remember exactly what happened. I don't know if those people drove us back or how that went. But I remember getting back to the Germantown house, and it was so cold. It was like 22 degrees in Memphis. It was frigid. And I went back and decided to go through the house really quick to see what we needed. And I took his Social Security card, just in case. I took that and still had it all these years. And a hair dryer. We were so scared he'd show up. I was just in a big time hurry, and then I think the sheriffs had showed up. And I said, look, I'm done with this clown. You know, I've called before on him, and you guys didn't do a thing. I said, I've been through so much. He's just really scary. The guy put a gun in my face, and, you know, I'm done. And I said, he's at our other house. And so, and here's another interesting story. When I went to go do that termination, I thought I was going to die because that baby was too old. I took that diamond ring, that was my engagement ring, and I mailed it to somebody to hold on to. Sure did. With a cassette tape in the box that was walking in Memphis. I knew the guy that wrote that song and sang it. And I knew the people that were in that song. And I mailed it because I thought I was going to die if I had that surgery. That ring was worth a ton of money back then. Anyway, we just kind of ended up with my hair dryer and a couple things, and it was freezing cold. I didn't have but just enough gas to get away from Memphis. Like I said, didn't have car phones back then. And got back in town kind of late. Went by Kathy Stott's house, that she didn't really have a place for us. And the bad part was Thurman was friends with Kathy because he used to love to talk to whoever I was with at the time on the phone, and I'd call him, especially when I go back and visit friends and stuff. And so I thought, God, maybe, he had some number, don't know who I could trust. Went to Doc Berry's office and said, I'm going to move my daughter back to school over here, and the only thing is I don't have a place to stay with my child. Because I gave up that nice house over there at the country club down at the golf course. And he says, well, you can stay in my big house. And my daughter lives there. God, that was another nightmare. Jesus Christ. And Doc is deceased. He died a few years back. Yeah, like several years back. So, at least we had a place to stay. Most of the time I slept on the side of the road, pulling as many hours as I could to get us money so we could get a place to live. Oh God, what a mess. I had nothing. Hardly any of our clothes, all my furniture, everything, like crystal was all out at the Pickwick house. I had called the sheriffs a few times to see what the legality was of trying to get my things, what would be a better option, if it should be when he's there or when he's not there and all. And they were just going round and round and round and like going, well, we are not going to help you, and we can't do anything about it, and if he changes the locks, well, then you just can't get in, and too bad. And it was just kind of like endless. I'm like, I did find out from the neighbors months later, he had taken my waterbed, my white lacquer waterbed, and some stuff and threw it out in the driveway, which is against HOA, and it just sat there rotting in the rain. I'm like, oh Jesus. Yeah, just threw it out there. Talked to Charlie's wife. He'd already passed away, and left her and those kids behind. The guy that used to fish all the time down at Pickwick was a good friend of ours. He was about 30, 31 and died from cancer. Didn't even smoke. And so I talked to her, and she said, we've been over to the house a couple times, me and my kids, because he's offered to let us come down and hang out at the house for the weekend or whatever, because he's trying to care for the children and that, because he made Charlie a promise, and I was like, gosh, that's great, use him up. And she said, your wedding gown hangs on the wall in the front parlor. I'm like, what? She says, yeah, you look up and there it is. I'm like, why? And so that was just kind of really strange, I thought. But I guess everything was a collection from all the people that lived there before. That little girl's diamond necklace laying on the dresser. The stuff that the people left behind. I wondered about the story of the two young daughters that he so liked and really didn't care for their mom, he said. I just kind of wondered. know. It was like, was this guy telling the truth? Is there something missing to the story? I just couldn't figure it all out, or how it related to us, or I just was like, maybe the guy's just, you know, blowhard and talks a lot of gook and, you know, has money and power. Well, years later, I did talk to his so-called brother, the mayor of Memphis, and he hates Thurman. Yep. I said, well, he uses your name all day long. He said, yeah, we'll let him find him again because he'll be in jail. He said, I'm not out there to help him. He's trash. I said, you have no clue how much trash he is. He said, yeah, well, he's not my friend, and he's merely like a stepbrother. He's not my real true brother. I came, you know, later. His mother married my dad, and they had me, and he said, I have nothing to do with the guy. And I don't know why he uses my name all the time. I said, well, he does. Every time he gets a chance, he's done it with sheriffs, everything. And I said, I was just wondering, you know, I didn't know what to do, you know. And he said, well, he's getting no power through me. He said, I wouldn't do crap for him. I was like, wow. I said, well, what about his parents, you know? He's like, oh, they're alive. He said, but they don't talk to him. They have nothing to do with him. I'm like, really? So what about the story how he's supposed to be Elvis's brother? You know, the dead brother that actually lived or something. And he says, what? I said, yeah, he always, when he gets jacked, he starts carrying on about this big long story and saying that he was Elvis' brother. And he said, I'm just telling you, the guy is just, you know, I wouldn't associate with him. And he said, I'm embarrassed that he even mentions my name because it would make me look bad as a city official. I'm like, oh my God. And I said, okay, well, thank you for your time. So I never did get to meet Thurman's parents. Never saw that young girl again that took off with the little boy she had that belonged to the diamond necklace. And the diamond ring? Not exactly sure where that went. Except for the fact that Kathy Stotts was offered a reward by Thurman if she could get it. And I had told Kathy what I had done with it. And Kathy used to go down and help the people at the United States Post Office. She didn't even work there. And she said she used to go early in the morning to help the guys over there to load mail in the boxes. So I wonder if she got a hold of that ring and shipped it back to Thurman, or kept it for herself and cashed it out. Not quite sure what happened. I don't know if the person I sent it to, if the secretary got a hold of it, as I sent it to their business P.O. box. I don't know if one of his kids got a hold of it, because I told him and he was watching for it, and it's like he never got it. And I was like, oh boy. So I don't know if the people at the shipping place, if the guy that I shipped it through stole it and it never did get really shipped. I don't know whatever happened with that ring. But I guess it was all evil anyway. Whether I had been able to sell it and got money out of it, just to put our life back together, it still probably would have made a difference. It's just gone. The diamond heart necklace, I have, but a friend of mine's holding it for me. And I mentioned it to him recently. I needed to get that back because I was going to give it to my youngest daughter. And I said whenever I wanted, I'd come get it. So, I don't know. But the story does go on. It doesn't end there. It does not end there. And it's not a good thing. reason I'm sharing this with you, which I hesitate to do it because there's one person it would really affect, because it ruined this one person, and you're still alive. It ruined him for life. And not just me. It was like something out of a bad movie. And I hope that you don't ever do anything you don't want to do. I hope that if you're unsure, you will back out. And that money isn't everything. Don't let somebody fool you. Don't let your best friend tell you, oh, that's wonderful, you should be with him, you know. And it's like, the guy's not that great looking. I mean, he's not somebody I really love. I don't know if I could just marry somebody I don't really love. You know, he's fine to be with sometimes, you know, but the guy was putting on a show, that's obvious. When people kept saying, how do you keep him so straight? I'm like, what are you talking about? He doesn't drink. It's rare. He's a good man. He works hard, makes big money. Owns lots of high dollar properties. And they're paying him by the month. God. But it didn't end there. I went back with nothing but my Camaro, a blow dryer, just a couple things in the car, because everything was at the big rig house. I didn't know if I had friends left, because I'd been gone so long, living that good, luxurious life. But I mean, I did call them from time to time, say hi, drive down and visit them, you know. But I didn't know who would really be there for me if there was an emergency. You know? Yeah. But the story does not end there. But I have to tell the story so you don't get fooled in your life and your eyes are open. I have to tell you the story because I was naive to the Silverado kid when he said, check her panties. That man ruined my life, and he ruined so many other lives. Because he's a damn sickness. None of it made sense. Here's a man that worked so hard, priority level in the city of Memphis, has held the same job for years and years and years. I think he'd been with him like 35 years or something. Yeah. Owns some high dollar properties. I know that for a fact. Because we used to drive around and collect monies and stuff from people. And he owned it. Matter of fact, he wanted to put my daughter in this high dollar school in Germantown. And we used the address of one of the houses in Germantown. He said, we'll just use that address. Because the apartment in Germantown was over the border like a mile. So they wouldn't clear it for us to be living there for her to go to that school. And there was a big high class school. And of course we'd be driving her to school every day and picking her up. And here's the address of the Germantown house. And they caught it, and then they wanted to toss her out after about 4 months. They're like, you do not live in the area. And it's like, well, yeah, we do. And we own the house. You do not live in the area. We have to terminate her. And then I had to move her to this other school in Memphis. So they deducted grades and hours and all that other stuff. What stupidity. And then I had to move her again, and they were talking about dropping her a grade. And this girl was so advanced. She's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant child. Okay? Way beyond her age. She's really incredibly good at school. So anyway, I'm just hoping that if you're considering marrying a rich man or somebody you just kind of really don't care for, and everybody's going, yeah, you should do it. Don't do it. That was one of the worst mistakes I ever made, and I felt bad doing it every day because I would never want to just marry somebody just for money and security if I really didn't totally care about them, because there's somebody else that will come along that really, really would love them and care for them much more than I would. But my good friend Kathy kept saying, oh, just, you really need to let a man take care of you for once, you know, let somebody pick you out this time. What a mistake. What a mistake. And she's dead too. She passed away this year. Yeah. And I don't want to say a lot, except, how can I say kindly? She was a fine example. She just did things differently than I would do, I guess. She was a good friend. She's a real character, but she just did things differently, not the way I would do things. Yeah. So stay tuned.